Can you believe that it's been 10 years since One Ala Moana was delivered to its new owners? For those of you that aren't aware, One Ala Moana is on the Mauka or backside of Ala Moana Shopping Center at 1555 Kapiolani Boulevard. It's a high-end luxury condominium project there at the mall at Ala Moana. It's came prior to Park Lane, and it was a joint venture between at the time, which was General Growth, which owned the mall at the time, as well as McNaughton Kobayashi, and then there was an equity partner by Mr. Katami, who owns the Sotheby's brokerages here out of Japan, and it was a home run. It was sold out super fast. When they took the sales to market, a lot of buyers bought these from overseas. And here we are over 10 years later, and I'm going to throw a chart up on the screen here to see. This is a little fun thing we've been doing over the years with a rearview mirror, looking back on new condo construction on Oahu and how it fares over, say, a decade and how well the investors did with their money. We did this in the past on Capitol Place. We did this on, I believe, Io and Kakako, and we'll continue to do these going forward. So as we talked about in those other segments and those other buildings that we covered, it turns out in a lot of these buildings, the people that have done well over time holding on to these units are going to be the lower entry price points. So on the one bedroom condos, on average, they were about, in the mid $800,000 range 10 years ago, and now it's just above $1 million. So those people are coming out ahead if they were to hold that entire period. Now, keep in mind, we did go through COVID, so there was actually one year where we didn't see any one bedroom sales, but the 2 and 3 bedroom sales were pretty consistent. 2 bedroom sales, on the other hand, if you held them onto your 2 bedroom condo on average here at One Ala Moana, you would have lost money over the past decade. Entry level back then was kind of like in the 2 million range, and now we're looking at close to like 1.7. So that's a $500,000 loss on average for a 2 bedroom condo at One Ala Moana. And to take things further, well, as we dive into the 3 bedrooms, they're relatively flat across the board. When you see the spike in the very beginning, what that has to do with is there were several of the penthouse sales that closed then, and that would be unit 2300 and 2302. I did a video about these particular penthouses in the past, and what happened there, that's Mr. Sekiguchi that bought those condos. He also I don't want to call him a genius. He's maybe that's a little bit sarcastic, but he started a real estate brokerage back then that was representing himself and other people on the island. And the business model of the real estate brokerage was to lose $50 million. For those of you that don't remember, it was called SRE Matrix. And he also owns Shurkia, which actually is a thriving business, and Vintage Cave at Ala Moana. However, he also lost a ton of money back in the day. He was the original developer of Ko'olina prior to Jeff Stone. And this is another example of where he's lost money. The brokerage that he started at the time, their business model was to basically do real estate brokerage for free. And it's hard to operate a business for free. And that, sure enough, they went out of business. Now back to the penthouse condo purchases, the reason you saw that spike in the beginning is combined for unit 2300 and 2302, he paid $16.2 million. So that was in the year 2014, or excuse me, 2015. And fast forward to today, those same units are on the market for $16 million. So that'd be a $200,000 loss over a 10-year hold period. Keep in mind all the maintenance fees, costs, and uptake along that time, as well as property taxes. So that's definitely not the best ROI in my opinion. So overall, One Ala Moana is still a fantastic high-end luxury condominium building. One thing to keep in mind though, if you are buying there, some of the view planes may be changing in the future. There's rumor and speculation out there that on the east side of the mall, there's going to be what's called Park Lane 2. So there's going to be some condos where the current Macy's is. That was one of the anchor tenants on the mall, kind of like how Park Lane was done on the previous anchor tenant where Sears was on the west side of the mall. We're going to see condos in the future on the east side of the mall. So in any event, if you have any questions about One Ala Moana or future condo developments in Honolulu, the buck stops here for all your real estate needs. Feel free to reach out and give me a call at 808-371-3509. Mahalo.